Hey everyone, my name is Blaziken, and I am a semi-professional Marvel Rivals player. I have competed in Stage 1 Ignite and consistently been top 500 and ranked every season since the game's launch. Today I'm here to finally start something I've been passionate about for a very long time, which is to create educational content for this game that I love so much. This is the first in a three-part series of teaching players the fundamentals of each role explored through one hero in that role. For this video, I'll be covering Vanguard while playing Magneto. The reason I chose Mag is because he's the one character that is very versatile and can be picked into any situation should you end up solo tanking. He's also one of the best options for that, I believe. So, to get through the basics, let's start with Magneto's kit. His primary is Iron Volley, which is a single cast projectile with delayed impact that creates an AoE. It does 80 damage um, total and has a maximum distance of 25 meters. It is a pretty good primary fire to poke people, and if you can consistently hit your shots, this is a very good tool to poke and harass the enemies and also get confirmed kills if the enemies are low. His right click is the mag cannon, and that it deals a total of 90 damage when it's fully charged. And the way you can see it is the arrows on his screen when they charge up slowly. And if they're charged up all the way to the third ring, they do 90 damage and deal a knockback. So with Magneto, there is a very basic combo you can do to instantly kill 250 HP heroes, which is you shoot one left click, then into one right click, into another left click again. This combo does exactly 250 damage. Now let's start getting into his other abilities. His shift is Metallic Curtain, which casts a barrier that has a resource. So it's a resource based barrier. It's not like other shields in the game where it can break. It's just a temporary shield that has infinite capacity. It can absorb any amount of damage. But do be careful though. There are certain things like melee characters that ignore the shield completely. So it's a very good tool to block damage, to block things if you can time it right, because it's not like other shields. Excuse me. And going on next to his other two abilities, first is his Metal Bulwark, which is the bubble that he gives to allies. Now, in the most recent patch in Season 5, Magneto has received a change where he can now have the self bubble and the allied bubble on two different cooldowns, which is an insanely good buff. This means that he can now always have a bubble for himself and for his allies. Now, the reason this ability is so good is because it can be used in conjunction with a lot of different other abilities to make them a lot stronger. Like, for example, you can combo it with a Scarlet Witch ult to make sure she doesn't get stunned out of her ult while she's casting it, because it absorbs everything. But you have to be careful though, because it only absorbs 200 hit points worth of damage. And it also grants you a charge on your right click on your mag cannon for every piece of damage it absorbs. So if it breaks, it'll instantly give you two charges on your Iron Ring, which means that. Which brings me to the next ability, which is Iron Bulwark, which is your self bubble. The self bubble is a great tool to use, the Iron Bulwark, to protect yourself from getting CC'd by any characters. Like, for example, if they have a Wolverine, this is the one ability you want to be constantly saving to protect yourself from being grabbed by the enemy Wolverine and or getting hooked or any sort of CC. And you can also use this very like aggressively, not just defensively. Like let's say you want to push up onto somebody and you want to hit them with the combo, and you pop the self bubble while doing it. So any damage they try to do to you while you try to fight them gets converted into another iron ring charge. So as soon as you finish your combo, and let's say they're still left with a sliver of HP, your shield breaks, you'll get charges of your iron volley back, so you can instantly combo it back into another mag cannon, into another right click to finish the target off. Um, Last but not least is his ultimate. His ultimate is very powerful, and there are a ton of different use cases for his ultimate, Meteor M. Now let me explain how his ult works in detail. So when you start casting his ult, Magneto will start charging up a meteor, and he will absorb all damage. Well, all forms of projectile. There are things that he cannot absorb. For example, like Emma Frost's primary, which is her beam, and Lunasno's clap. Those things will go through and damage you. They cannot be absorbed. And also other melee attacks like Groot's primary, Venom's primary, stuff like that. So you still need to be careful to not try to cast it when you're really low HP, as there are certain things that can just kill you through it, and if you die, it just explodes. So to begin, the projectile of the rock itself, of the meteor itself, deals no damage, but it does AoE damage. So it's a completely AoE damage thing. So it starts at 100 damage and increases to 300 when fully charged. So you'll see when you cast the ult, there is a timer, right? And this timer lasts 4 seconds. So if you let your ult charge all the way naturally to 4 seconds, at the end of the ult, Magneto will auto toss it, and it does 300 damage when it's fully charged. So you can basically one shot almost every single squishy with it, with a few exceptions, like Blade, Daredevil, Mr. Fantastic, characters like that are like a bit more tanky. Now, when the ult absorbs any bullets, it gets charged up. So if it's charged up to 100, if you let it get charged to all the way to 100, then it will automatically break again. So you have to make sure that you throw it as soon as it's almost fully charged. You need to throw it when it's around 90. Cause when it's fully charged, it deals an extra 300 points of damage, so that's 600 total. With that, you can almost one shot off. You can even one shot a lot of tanks if they've taken damage. But you have to be very careful, and this takes a bit of time to master, but you should be throwing it as it's around 80, just to be safe. So now Magneto ult, the reason it's such a powerful ult is because it's a tool that can be used both defensively and aggressively. You can use Magneto ult to protect your team, let's say for example, from an enemy Punisher ult. You can absorb all the damage and toss it right back at him to insta kill him. But there is nuance to this, since the enemy team can also decide to just protect the Punisher when you're doing this. Or you can also use it aggressively. For example, when the enemy team's vanguards are pushed up onto your team, you can use Magneto's ult, to block any form of healing. Because most healers, their heals are projectile based, so they have to shoot their tank to heal them. If you ult while in front of them, you can cut off all the healing. Your team can effectively focus down those tanks because they have no healing for 4 seconds and die, while also being able to throw that rock at a support to just do both things at once. It is very strong. It's a very strong tool. Last but not least is his passive magnetic descent, which is a tool that just lets you hover while floating. Well, you can use it around jump pads or maps that have things that let you float, etc. But also, I didn't want to forget he has a new team up this season with Gambit. His team up is also very strong because it is a very large projectile that deals a lot of damage with an extra tick of damage at the end. So you can use this, and the best part about it is that it has no range. Unlike his primary, this you can poke people across the map with it. And since Gambit is such a popular pick this season, you're almost guaranteed to have this team up every single game you play Mag. That's just a basic analysis of his kit. To get into more fundamentals with how you should be playing him over the course of a match, you can Magneto is a main tank, so you're supposed to control the front space with him and play in the main lane, play for the objective, contest payload, all that good stuff. But yes, this was the first in a three-part series, and this was how to play Magneto and a brief overview of what you should be doing for the Vanguard role.